All right, there we go. So I want to welcome you, Lori, and thank you for being here. And so you're gonna get this information, and we're gonna be able to share it through um, uh, a video of this with everybody else. But at the same time, hopefully, you'll be able to share this with some of your with your other district governors and with Chris, so you kind of get an idea, or he can get, or they can get a flavor of what we're trying to accomplish through Mission 1.5 and what expectations are laid kind of upon you because you did accept that challenge of 1.5 at the district or at the Lions Clubs International Convention. And the reason I say that is that after our meeting in Oak Brook here a little over a week ago, and hearing what exactly, because I was not at Lions Clubs Convention in Boston, but hearing what was agreed to, or what challenge was accepted, what that challenge was, made me think that maybe not everybody truly understood just exactly what they had accepted. And so we want to make sure that you understand what you accepted, number one. But more importantly, number two, and I think this is the more important of all of this, is that all of you and everybody in MD8 and everybody within our little area of 1A, we have a pretty amazing team put together that is there to help you and all of your fellow governors be successful. And just because sometimes I may, or one of the team members may ask for something, doesn't mean that we're trying to disrupt or interrupt the day. It is trying that we're just trying to get some information. But at the end of the day, our hearts are there to make sure our hearts are there because we want you to succeed. So please know that, and going into this, and that any one of us on the team are just a phone call away, and you will get the names and the individuals you'll get their names and their email addresses in a newsletter that's going to come out on Saturday. But we have broken it down just as you would have a district governor team. I've broken it down as my team the same way. I have a global extension team coordinator. I have a global leadership team. I have a global membership team. I have a global service, and I have a GMA. So I have all of those positions that are there, and they're there to help you. Okay, I've put them in place to help you. So, and I know that you have you have a couple of positions that you still need to fill, which are going to be your GET and GMA, I would imagine, are the two that I don't remember seeing that listed on you. Do you have those filled yet?
Okay, so I am actually the secretary to the council.
Okay.
So my sister, Erica Janice, is 8-0 district governor, and she has all of our the global action team, the GAT teams filled.
Okay.
They should be in the system, but if not, I can go in and double check.
Okay.
But there are some holes, like I'm looking at it right now on my computer. 8N is missing a leadership chairperson and a service chairperson. And then 8L is missing the membership and the service.
Yeah, they're missing, and missing membership, service, and GMA. You got to remember, while GMA is not listed, that's the Global Membership Approach Champion, GMA champion.
Okay, I'm sorry, I haven't heard of that one yet.
That's why when I asked, when I said we're going to talk about what you agreed to in accepting Mission 1.5, that's part of it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I haven't heard of that position yet.
As a matter of fact, MD8 as the GAT for MD8, they need a GMA champion. I show 8L, as you just got through saying, GMT, GST, and GMA. 8I, GET, and a GMA.
Okay,
Uh,
8I does have a GET.
yeah, they need a GET. Yeah. Or
They
do they
have
have?
one.
Okay, good.
Everyone has one. It just may not be in the system. It should be though, because I pulled all of this information out of um Lions International. I'm looking at our directory
I'll,
right now. That's
I'll
why
go
I'm
back and look at, I looked at today is what, Thursday. I haven't looked at I do this on a Monday. So when I go through, so my
okay.
days are pretty full. Your sister, has she got all of her
We
district
do,
folks?
except for the GMA one, because like I said, I
Okay.
didn't know about that one, but they may know about, but
All right.
nobody has identified that to me.
And then I show 8N needing a GL and a GS.
GS and a GM, yes.
Yeah. And then 8S has filled everything with the exception of a GMA. Now,
Right.
the thing about the GMA position, Lori, is that there's no place to report it on my
Oh,
LCI. All right.
okay.
Now it's there will be, and we were assured that when the new system comes online, that there will be a spot to report a GMA champion or lead, and it's the you can call it either name. Uh, we call it champion in MD2, and most everybody else that I know of in Constitution Area 1 calls them champions because that's what we've been going by or going under over the last 3 years. And the rest of the world outside of Constitutional Area 1 and 2 call them leads. So it's whatever word you want to put to it. And we'll see what they do in out of LCI. So
Okay.
uh, when you agreed and when all of your governors agreed to accepting the challenge that International President Patty Hill put forward um, through Mission 1.5. And my question I have for you before I get to that, have you read anything about Mission 1.5 yet?
So I haven't read very much about it, honestly. I did hear about it in Boston and I heard everyone talking about it. And I was fortunate enough to go with Erica to the opening district governor's breakfast where the training that day, where they really did talk about it. So I was happy to hear that.
There are, excuse me, Mission 1.5 is, in essence, is nothing more than a campaign. That's really what it is. It has taken the structure of LCIF 100. That's what they did, and they put that structure to and developed from that Mission 1.5 for LCI, which means that they're trying to reach or trying to grow our organization to the size of 1.5 million members worldwide by July the 1st, 2027. And at the same time, we will be able to serve 1 billion people annually. So it's a big goal. It's a big goal. Now, in order to do that, there are two things that are the drivers for Mission 1.5. Literally two things. And when you read it, and when you go to, and you can go to Lions Clubs International, type and go into the search icon and type in Mission 1.5. There's a whole web page dedicated Mission 1.5. And there are
I will read it.
Yeah, and there are two things that are the key in what Lions Clubs International is literally putting every egg they have into these two baskets. And one is Global Extension Team. So a GET, so that's New Club Extension. So everybody needs to have a GET. And the other is a global membership approach, which everybody should have a champion. And if you take the time, if you're really gonna review Mission 1.5, then they're going to talk about the brochure, which is no longer a brochure. But if you remember a few years back, there was a brochure called Just Ask. Right? It is now a 30-page booklet. And that 30-page booklet is nothing more than the entire global membership approach process. And literally that is where Lions Clubs International is truly hanging their hat on and have put just about every egg that they have in there at their disposal in those two baskets. So
Wow.
that's why it's very important, and that's why in my correspondence to everyone in all of our MDs throughout Area 1A, and in my conversations to the council chairs, why it is so very important. Now, I know that we don't like to tell governors what they have to do and what they must do, but it's not necessarily me telling them what they must do. It is the international president telling them this is what you agreed to. And so, as members of the global action team at the MD level, we do have the ability, and we do have within our roles and responsibilities that right to say these are things you need to focus on. So, and I know that there can be a little bit of issue there, but it really isn't. We're not telling them what they got to do. We're just helping them to understand what they agreed to. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I'm going to pull up the slideshow that I sent you. And again, this is a turn it back up here. This will be what I would recommend that you and your districts can use to. You could share this and do a presentation with me either through a Zoom or at one of the district meetings, or take it out, share it with the zone chairs, and have them present it at the zone meetings. I mean, there's nothing here that is overly complicated. It's pretty straightforward. Back on, let's see here, in August, I'll get the right dates here. You'd think I'd have those on the top of my head, but I don't. Let's see, is this one over there? Yeah. Back on from the 11th through the 12th of August, I, along with seven other global leadership or global action team leaders, were back in Lions Clubs International in Oprah for 3 days of onboarding to Mission 1.5. And what I found interesting is there's out of Constitution Area 1, there's just 8 area leaders, which there used to be 16 or 17. So they've expanded areas for all of us and narrowed it down. This is my first foray into that particular juncture, and it had to be with Mission 1.5 and the expansion of the duties of the area leaders. So thank you so much for that, Lions Clubs International. So, but we were back there, and what our purpose of being back there was obviously to learn and to find out what Lions Clubs International, specifically our international president, Dr. Patty Hill, and her executive committee, what they are looking for and what they're wanting to have accomplished through Mission 1.5 this year. So prior to going there, we had to do a SWOT analysis of our areas, and that's just a strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. Unfortunately, we did not have the time. We weren't given the time to where we could get everyone together to do an actual SWOT where I'm talking to live people. I literally did the SWOT based upon statistical data that I'm able to see from my Lion and also from insights. So I did a SWOT. I presented my SWOT to Lions Clubs International and to our group, our constitutional area group, and all 7 other area leaders did the same thing. At the end of that, then we developed. We then did a SWOT analysis of Constitutional Area 1, and from that, we had a report out on that, and that report is I'm going to share with you now. If you can take a look, these are the strengths. I'm not going to read all the strengths and the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I think that I don't think that there's anything on there that it really jumps out at us in strength or weaknesses. the opportunities are the threats. I think they're all pretty straightforward. I think that they are very generic to even to our area. I mean, they really are. If I take a look and like over here in the weakness where it shows the very last one, lack of club extension culture and experience. If I were to take a look at MD8 and just, if I take a look there, I can see that over the last 10 years, not just the last 5, but the last 10, MD8 has put an average of 1.09 clubs in a year. So that tells me right there that we have a little lack of club extension culture and experience. And we do. We know that. Aging membership. Yes, we have an aging membership. So they're all pretty much in would I be fair enough to say that we might see resistance to change and repeat officers at all levels in MD8?
We definitely have that problem.
And we do too in MD2. Not so much repeat officers at all levels, but we have resistance to change. So it's not like it's unique to MD8 or to MD3, 7,
Right.
or 26. Okay.
Yeah, I've talked to other folks all over the place who share their battles with some of that. So
Right. And it's and so there's a culture change that we're going to have to do. We will need to change not only corporate culture at the MD level, but we're also going to have to change that cultural at the club level. There's just no way around it. I mean, if we don't change the corporate culture, then we're never going to change anything. And unfortunately, we seem to think that things happen from the top down. I seem to tend to be a little different. I think that it all happens from the bottom up. So
I think that's true, especially in our Lions world, because the club, there's just so much more power at the club level, in my opinion.
sure, if we didn't have any clubs, we wouldn't have a zone and wouldn't have a district. And if we didn't have any districts, we wouldn't have any MDs. So it's all about the club. It starts and ends at the club level. So we need to recognize that and realize that. And that's really where we need to focus some stuff on. Opportunities, this is a big one, that mission 1.5 is the impetus to develop long range plans at the MD and district level. If I were to ask you the question, is MD8 working on a strategic plan that is at least out 5 years out? I think I know the answer, but what would that answer be?
I would say as a whole, no. I'd say there's kind of places where it's beginning to happen, but as a whole, no. It's just been trying to get through the next year, right? Instead of even being able to project into 5 years out.
So one of the things that we want to see each MD do, as well as each district and each club, is to start looking at long range planning. You know, we have a tendency, and you made a great comment here. We have a tendency to say, okay, it's my year, it's this year. Let's just get through this year. Let's do that. But the problem is, at the end of that year, we start all over again on July the 1st, reinventing a wheel.
Right.
You know, so if we had some continuity, you can call it anything you want to. I don't, you can put any name you want to put to long range planning. I don't care. But if we could have continuity going from one year to the next, building upon what we did the previous year, just think where we could go with that. That's kind of the way that I look at it. So the opportunity to mission 1.5 is there. If we also take a look at some threats, unaddressed internal conflicts. I don't call that a threat. I think that might be a weakness, but I lost that battle at the time of the argument, and I'm going to lose it here. But but we do have some areas that see a major decline in economy, social polarization in communities and clubs, and that I think we see that all over the place. So I don't think there's anything too totally out of whack here on our constitutional area one SWOT analysis. The report out
And,
was
and actually, I just want to make a quick comment just
sure,
because I've done a whole lot of kind of reading and research, particularly about that kind of social isolation, because it's, my job is
right,
related to that, but also, I mean, it's so significant. And so I do believe that Lions Clubs is a way to help people connect with other people and connect with their community, and a way to be engaged in their community. And so
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Our report out is that each area leader has developed a strategy to address the needs of their area. And we can talk about all the things that, I came up with some strategies for us, and they're pretty much based upon the district governors or the district goals that were submitted by the district governors. And we can talk about some of those things. And I feel sure if you've taken any time at all, if you would take some time to take a look at the district governor goals, you'd find that the majority of them, whether it be in your district or whether it be in any one of the districts that we have, there are no action plans attached to them. They just did some goals and no action planning going on there at all, which means they're going to have to do some action planning. So, but in our constitutional area, we are looking into in our constitutional area, we are taking into account the lack of experience in club extension and current district leaders and the small number of districts with extension teams. From this little report out here, there was a recommendation that was made to immediate past International President Brian Sheehan, because he sat in on our constitutional area one workshop all 3 days. Yes, I had Brian Sheehan over my shoulder. There's a bundle of energy that you can just wish I could.
I've known him from when he was an international director. He was down here a lot, and then he was actually our guest at our state convention this past year. So I got to reconnect with him and Lori. So that was really nice. But yes, he's so much.
He's in your face. He's in your face. From this, though, we had a recommendation that was presented to him, and that recommendation was, and how we got to this is that there was a talk about, and I will forward the email that I got this afternoon from Lions Clubs International that really addresses this nicely. Recommendations made that because they were talking about using club consultants to come in and put in new clubs or help put in new clubs in an area. Obviously, the club consultant, that's not their job. They're there to come in and to help a district put in a new club. The suggestion was, instead of using that money and using that club consultant to come in and help form a new club, because that club consultant really does not know the area like our own Lions clubs know their area. What about bringing that club consultant in to train new extension teams, to train our club development teams? Well, it was bought off on. So today we received an email, and you can pass this on to Chris and to the other district governors that, and they will get this email tomorrow. But Lions Clubs International will pay for up to 5 days of a new club consultant to come into a district to do just nothing but give training. Okay. They will pay for their hotel, their travel, and their meals. So the district does not have to pick up a penny. All they have to do is provide a team or teams that they want to be trained. And I will share the list of club consultants that we have throughout the United States. If there's a particular one you want, and they're available, I can request that club consultant come in. So that's a huge thing. Or they will pay for a hybrid training between in person and Zoom. So I think that is, to me, if they're truly trying to say, they're putting their money where their mouth is by saying they think that new clubs are that important that they're willing to pay to train our teams at the district level and truly do a great job, a huge job of real training. So I think that's just wonderful. And it was the consensus that the majority of our clubs, based upon district goals that were submitted, are planning to put new clubs in during the second half of this year. Little sad to see that. I think that you've served as a district governor, have you not?
I have.
And if you wait till the second half of the year to put a new club in, you're really on the downhill side of that. The year
Right.
just,
And that's what happened in our district last year is they really pushed at the end of like the second half of the year. And so now, unfortunately for them, their clubs didn't go in, but fortunately for my sister, she's in a really good spot to potentially put in 2 clubs this year.
and that would be great. That would be wonderful.
I know.
Yeah. So then we're going to do what we call the report out here. There's a new club development target, 272 clubs in Constitutional Area 1 by June the 30th, 2024. I will tell every district governor that they have set and told everybody what their district governor what their district goals are going to be in new club extension. And in Louisiana, there are you guys have 5 districts, and I want to say that you had a grand total of 7 new clubs that were reported on district goals. I changed your target to where there were 5.
Okay, we were one of them that put 2 because like I just told you, she has that opportunity to do the 2.
I changed that number to 5 to make it a target only because of what history tells me based upon the 10-year projection. Now, get 3. I don't care. Get 4. You don't have to stop at 1. If you're
Right.
if her and I changed the target. I didn't change her goals in what she submitted to my LCI or to
Okay.
Lions Club. All I changed was they came out with targets to us. I changed the target.
Got it.
So by August 31st, area leaders will share the targets with the MDs and districts. That's why all these calls have been so much put to the forefront. We got to get them done now so we can share. Then it starts to get a little bit of breathing room. Area leaders will work with all MDs and districts to appoint global extension teams by September 30th. So each district and our multiple district, depending upon the size, is going to need to at least appoint at least one global extension team. And I think that each district, and it's going to be my thought, and it's going to be my desire that each district has at least one global extension team in that district. I think the majority of our districts they're just too large for.
So when you talk about a team, how many people are on that team? What does the team look like? Like
that is going to be up to the district and to the district itself. I think you're going to need somebody that's going to be a team coordinator, a lead, whatever you want to call that. It could be a PDG, it could be a line. Anybody that has good communication skills and has a desire to want to put in new clubs, that has that desire. And then folks that are there to help them, 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people, to be I think a good solid team should have at least 4 people on it. Because when you go to a community, I mean, you don't want to go there with just 2 folks and having 2 people doing a community needs assessment, and then once the community needs is done and when there's a little small SWOT analysis is done, then go out and start banging on doors with just 2 folks. You're gonna need more help than that. So and I think that while I think that, you could have 3 people, and as long as you had clubs that are willing to give you folks from the club, if they're going to sponsor that new club, that they're going to help. So I mean, there's each district, each MD in each district are going to have to look at this in what works for them. I can give you what I think will work, but I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I'm just going to say each district. The only thing I'm going to say we have to do is appoint a new club extension team, and obviously, a team is more than one person. So, and I would hope that we use a little common sense in how we go about doing that. By December 30th, all area leaders will coordinate and ensure the delivery of the GET training utilizing the new club consultants. We will do that. And as soon as, if you have, and please let Chris know and let your other governors know that if they have a team that they have identified right now and they know who they're going to be and they want to get somebody in to train them right now, let me know as soon as possible so I can make sure that we get a consultant in there to do that training. Okay. So, and I mean that. I can't be more sincere about that. That's kind of important. We get to our membership growth and retention in the report out. And if you were to take a look at it all the way through on Constitutional Area 1, and even through your MD and all the ones here in our little area of 1A, we realize that 50% of the goal is going to come from new members and 50% of the goal is going to come from new clubs. So, that means we're going to have to make a real concerted effort to use the global, if you see that name there, the global membership approach at the club level. So that it truly is very, very important. There are some key dates that are on here that will need that each district governor will need to take a look at and move forward with. And so we need to make sure that they understand that. If you see where by December, or should be September 30th, the MD and district GMA champions will be trained to take on their roles. So by the end of next month, everybody's got to have a GMA champion assigned. So again, this isn't Gunstream saying this is what we got to do. This is coming from Constitutional Area 1 leader PID Pat Burnett. So I'm just the guy having to relay the message. And then the next part of that report out comes from, it talks about to assist the districts to better prepare for the fast starts in the following 3 years and to improve percent of districts' timely goal submission. The GAT will provide mentorship and support for district goal submission process with the following goal and action plan. So by May the 30th, 2024, all districts will have goals and action plans submitted for the coming year, which means that this is a change that is going to be back up a minute before I say this, because it's you're probably going to say either I'm right or I'm wrong, but in MD2, it's taken us 2 years to get to this change. I'm not sure 8 is there yet, but I'm going to make this comment. A DGE or a first vice district governor should have their team in place by December the 31st of this year. So they can start working with their team to develop the goals that their team and the district is going to put forward for that next year.
Right. So
how much resistance are the DGE / first vice district governors going to receive from current governors when they start trying to put a team together before the way that we've always done it, which is, oh, we'll wait until April or May.
Right. And I think that if you have a good team, like a good collaboration between your district governor, your first and second vice district governors, then it can work really well. Historically, that's not been very true for us. Just generally, there's a lot of friction between governors and incoming governors and all that kind of stuff, and so it causes a lot of problems.
Well, this is where the guidance and the even-handedness of the council chair should come in to help smooth that pathway a little bit to make that happen. But as you can see,
and then our bigger problem here in Louisiana is that often we don't even have first and second vice district governor.
You've got that problem right now.
I know.
I mean, I was feeling pretty happy when John Landrum handed this to me and said, for the first time in ever, you're taking over MD8 with everyone being filled. You have a district governor, a first and a second. Great. Now I get into it, and now we have now all of a sudden they're resigned or they're not here or something's happened. So I can look in wherever my little piece of my notepad is here. I take a look at 8I and 8N. There's not a first or second. So
right. 8O,
so,
we don't have official one listed, but we do have a second, and he is coming to trainings.
I kind of heard that. That's why I didn't have that listed. I think Terry may have told me that.
Yeah, he's coming to, he's doing all the trainings and he's very excited and he is in place. He's just not, he has to finish out. He's the president of his club.
He's the president, right? Yeah. Because the other one had to resign because of work.
Right.
Yeah. So he has to do it he can't until he gets 6 months under his belt. So
right.
Again, share this with I'm going to share it with everybody, but you can kind of let them know that Lions Clubs International is really adamant about this, getting things started and developing that action plan by the 30th of May. And if you take a look, we're also talking about doing some strategic planning that's in there. So, and if you see, there's also that wonderful word of global membership approach keeps popping up all throughout this. And then the last one is the accountability of it. And that's what we're going to that's what we will start doing in September with the first of the set. Yeah, if you saw the email today where I let everyone know when MD8's monthly GAT call will be, I've set them also, and I did it for a reason, the way that I did this. If anybody wants to know, because we're going to talk about specific things that are germane to a district. If we need to have an open conversation, I do not want to embarrass an MD on a same call or a conversation with other MDs. That's not fair. That's not right. So while yes, it causes me to have 5 separate GAT calls, I don't care. The most important is to make sure that we're taking care of that MD. And if we have to have,
can I ask you a question? I'm sorry. So when you have the one-on-one call with the district governor, will you also, okay, so it's the multi-district, not just like district.
Right. It'd be multi-district. Right.
Okay, and then when you talk about district leaders, are you talking about the like first and second vice and the cabinet secretary and treasurers, or who are you talking about when you say district leaders?
That would, good question. And when we talk about district leaders, we're talking about first and second. We're talking about the GAT members of the district. And you know, while I'm not going to be a stickler that they all be on this call, I think that is up to the district governor if they want to bring them in. I think it's important, if you really want to have a good, strong district, that you include everybody. You know, cabinet treasurers, cabinet secretaries may not find this call to be of any value to them, and I'm not sure that all the G's will find value. They should, although we're not going to talk a tremendous amount about service, but we will talk some about service. But there will be quite a bit of conversation about leadership. There are 3 words that describe Mission 1.5, and those 3 words are membership, membership, and membership. I mean, that really is what 1.5 is all about. Right. They want membership. Okay. and we need to grow our membership. We're every one of our MDs are down, and I hate to say it, but membership increases our dues at the MD and at the district level. And I don't know about your MD or your district, but I can tell you, my MD in my district, either we're going to have to get more members or we're going to have to increase dues, and we don't want to increase dues. So, so anyway, that's the last part of the report out. So we had some closing remarks, and you can read all about that. I don't care much about those closing remarks there. So,
all right.
But that is in essence, in a nutshell, what we discussed during our time in 3 days. That's brought down to a few items. Now, in my email that I sent out to everybody for this call, I had asked for, I said, be prepared to discuss a couple things. So we've talked about mission 1.5, okay? District goals. How familiar are you with the district goals that were submitted by the 5 DGs?
I'm only familiar with 8.0.
Okay, all right. When I look at, and I'll get to return to 8.0 here.
Okay.
Because I have looked at, believe it or not, every one of them and read them. I don't have memorized. I'm pretty good, but I'm not that good. I know 8.0 had 2 that they put in for. There we go. If I take a look at 8.0, and I take a look at these at the goals that were submitted, and I take a look at, and I see this where it says fiscal year new clubs 2, charter members 40, which is a good number, which is the right number. Believe it or not, or I will see district governors put in new club 1, charter members 5. I mean, I don't know how they get to that number unless they're thinking that a branch is a club. New members 15, but here's one for you. Retention goal. The number of losses are only going to be 6 Lions during this year. How many members have you lost already in 8.0?
I don't really know. I haven't looked.
Okay. I did not. I looked, like I say, I looked on Monday. I think you're close to that number already. So, and it's going to be, and so her goal was to end the year with the net 49. Good goal, good growth goal. Again, while we see all that, and I look at the statements that are made for net growth, and I look at the statements that are made for leadership and LCIF, and but what I don't see is any action plans. So, and here's where I think is really very important. We don't have to call them an action plan, call it a roadmap. I mean, how are we going to get from point A to point B? So, and we need to be specific about it. I don't want to say I don't want to beat the drum for SMART goals. Okay, I'm not going to do that, but at least have a specific goal that is measurable, that has somebody accountable for it, and has a timeline that we're going to reach it by. Having a goal that is ongoing is not a goal. I mean, or an action plan. Having it ongoing is not an action plan. So when she talks about these things, they're great, but I don't know how she's going to get there. Okay, so she needs to, and she can modify, or she can add these action plans in. She has up until the 31st of December to do this. So I would like to see her do it sooner than later, because I think it's better to do it sooner. And the action plan templates are there within the goal submission page that is within LCI. New club development. You said that you guys were working on 2 new clubs last year, but they weren't there. So you got 2 clubs that you're looking at to put in this year, right? Is there any idea when those clubs might come to fruition?
No.
Okay. And what work are we doing on?
I'm sorry, what?
And what work are we doing on them right now?
So I can talk more about one of them because I've been involved with the development of that one. We've had a meeting with kind of community folks, and we're scheduling another meeting with the community. And from there, we'll start knocking on doors and stuff if we need to. We think we might be close to the 20 number. We'd like to get much, more than that to get started. But
And
we're
and
having
which
this,
and
sorry.
which community are we in?
So this is New Iberia,
Okay.
which is just south of Lafayette.
I know we're due. I'm originally from Orange, Texas, and spent.
Okay.
I'm an old retired Navy guy, and I spent
Okay,
about 3.5 years stationed in New Orleans. So
got it.
I know where New Iberia is. That's great. That's good.
Yeah, the other area where we're working is closer to your stomping grounds, is over in Lake Charles area.
Okay.
And of course now I'm drawing a complete blank on the actual community name. We were just talking about it
Right.
over the weekend, but it's okay. They've been really recruiting. Belinda and William Arsenault, I don't know if you know them from over in that side of the because our district is kind of split into two sides, right? And so Belinda's been real, and she's our GET. She's been really Lake Arthur. She's been really pushing
Yeah.
to start a club in Lake Arthur, and she's got a lot of interest. And so now the next step is to start holding. We want what we did in New Iberia that I think was really nice was we just kind of held a meeting. Hey, come learn about Lions clubs, and we had we had some interest, and then we want to do the same thing in Lake Arthur to see who shows up, and then from there figure out what our kind of next step is.
Okay. That's good. I'm going to ask if either you or district governor or somebody, please keep me informed on on what we're doing and where we're going with these clubs. All right, because I have to report. Right.
Okay.
We've started 5 clubs already this year in our area. All 5 have been started in MD2. I am from MD2, and I'm a Lion here. And while that's great, I want MD2 to have some pressure. I want you guys, and I want all the other 4 MDs to put pressure on MD2.
Okay.
So, and I want to be able to brag upon MD8 having 2 new clubs that are in the pipeline. If you're close to 20 and you're going to submit an application, just send me an email saying, hey, we're getting ready to submit an application. Or even after this second meeting happens, and heaven forbid we didn't get the traction that we wanted, at least keep me updated and informed of what we're going to do. Okay.
Sounds great.
I'd appreciate that. And as we move forward with any other new club extension, and don't be afraid to, and don't you guys be afraid to think about putting in some club branches. I mean, that's a great way to grow membership. And we can all take a lesson from Seal Beach Lions Club out at MD4. I mean, that club has over 400 and some odd members in it, and the core group probably only has about 125, 130 members. Everybody else is all branch club or club branches to that thing. So, you can find different niches that people want to serve in. As long as you got 5 people, you've got a club branch. And oh, by the way, you've got 5 new members to the host club, so which makes it kind of nice. I wanted to talk about global membership approach. We have talked about that a little bit tonight. Again, go to Lions Clubs International, and in the search block, just type in global membership approach. There's a whole web page dedicated to the GMA process. It is enlightening. It's not, and if you've heard me say this maybe once tonight, you will hear me say it every time we talk about the GMA. It is a process. It is not a program. There's no program attached to it. Your district, your club develops the programs that work for you. Nobody's going to tell you what you got to do. We just give the framework there to follow. And I can guarantee you, I am from a district that was the pilot program of the North America Membership Initiative, which was the precursor to the GMA. We put it into place just in the district level, and we ended the year a plus 20, which which we had not been in a plus for 5 or 6 years prior to that. Put in one new club, so we follow the process, and I can give you examples from around the state of Texas. Even the Jesse Robinson, or whatever the name of the award was just given to for membership growth and all that stuff here in the United States, went to a club, was in Utah. You listen to them talk, everything they did, and they will tell you they followed the GMA approach or the GMA process. It works. I'll guarantee you it works. And you don't have to talk about it as the GMA process. Call it XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3. Don't care, but it does work. And I mean that. We talk about membership. What is it that 8O has slated for membership growth? What's 8O going to do this year?
What do we have to do, or what do we plan? I don't understand.
What are you planning on doing? What are you planning on
doing? Aside from trying to start those clubs,
right?
I feel like that's where all of the energy is heading, is just kind of trying to stand up 2 new clubs. I know we're also working. There's a club in Lake Charles that's been there for a really long time, and they're talking about folding. So one of the other things that we're trying to do is to work with them. There's 6 members there now. They don't have, the kind of energy to keep going or whatever. So not trying to talk to them about not folding. Let's see if we can do something here and increase your membership, and seeing if we can do something to help them.
If you take the global membership approach process, if you find 1 or 2 members in that club that don't want to see the club fold, that are good, strong members that they don't want to see it fold, use them to be your core group, and that would be the first part of the team that you're putting together, because you're going to build a team.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Process. Because it's much easier to rebuild that club than it is to come in after the charter's gone, because then the credibility of Lions Club goes away for a little bit. Also know that you can put them you can make them a priority club, which will give you some dollars, give the district some dollars to help support that club. Now, there are the downside to priority clubs. There's a tremendous downside to it. You can put a club, you can request that a club be put on priority, and any club that has less than 20 members can be put as a priority club. They're put on priority club for a period of 2 years. If no growth happens, so in other words, if they're at 6 and in 2 years they're still at 6, Lions Clubs International has the right to pull their charter. That's the downside to it. But there are dollars that are provided to bring teams in to help, pay for functions, to, like, if you're going to do a membership drive, and you're going to do a dinner, or you're going to do a lion hunt, if you will, or if you're going to have some sort of open house, you need refreshments and those kinds of things. There's dollars there that are available for that LCI will reimburse the district for. So that's the good side of that. Just know that if you do put them as a priority club, LCI does have the right to pull that charter in 2 years, at the end of 2 years, if there's no growth. And I think they're well within their right to do so. They're putting the money out. They expect to see something for the dollars. But the upside to it is all they need to do is just be a +1 at the end of that 2 years. So that shows some growth. There's no plans for any type of membership drives to be going on during this year, especially during the like October, January, February, March, which is the normal drive months for LCI.
So I would say that's not that there's there's not plans at the moment, but there could be.
I would strongly urge, I would strongly urge that district governor and the GMT that she gives the responsibility to the global membership training coordinator to develop some membership drive programs for the clubs in 8.0. I would more than imagine that every club in District 8.0 is no different than any club we have anywhere else, can always use more members.
Certainly.
And so, there has to be a concerted effort for that. It is, we have gotten out of the habit of recruiting people. We have. You may not have. You may not have.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that statement. I mean, our club we do a huge community festival, and we're sitting at 70 members easy every year, but we're down to just over 50, coming out of COVID and not having our festival for 2 years. And, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. We're down so many members.
And it's all because because of COVID put a big kibosh on a lot of things. So we're now coming out of that fog, and we've forgotten how we got to where we were, and we just have to kind of kickstart that back in. So when she talks about her membership growth, she needs to have plans in there to help get, even though I think her growth is only adding 15 new members for the year, I think that she is going to have to really rethink her losses for the year. I think that 6 losses, if I take a look at 8.0, I'm a big numbers guy. I know that you guys use, I know that you get tired of hearing Chris Carlone talk about numbers because he's a big numbers guy, but I am a huge numbers guy because it tells me a lot, because I don't know, I don't know all of y'all from Adam, if you will. So I have to look at numbers. Drops are on the average over the last 10 years. M8.0 has dropped 97.27 lions per year. So
9.97 or 9.7?
97.2.
Okay.
Okay. Last year, the 22-23 year you dropped 95 members. The year before that, which was 21-22, which would be coming out of COVID, or at 77, but COVID year was 119. But 97.2 lions per year are being dropped. So we're only going to say we're going to drop 6. I think that's over optimistic. So we need to be a little bit more realistic in that number. So that means that the 15,
so the drop number will go up. So that means our new lion number needs to go up too.
Correct. So I mean, staying at 40 members for 2 clubs is great. That for charter members, that's wonderful. But we need to be a little bit more realistic and set that goal to be a little bit more realistic. So there for me is I've talked about everything that I had on my little list to talk to you about. And my question then comes to you: what can I do, or what does 8.0 or what does MD8 need from me and the GAT Area 1A team? What do you guys need? What can we do to help you? How can we help?
I don't know the answer to that question, but we can certainly talk about it as a team and figure out what y'all could do to help us.
Okay. Because we're here to help. I mean, seriously, we are, and don't want anybody to go or thinking that there's no help there for you, that you're out there all by yourself, because you're not.
So, I mean, personally, I think the reports are really helpful. I think that my bet is, because I don't know how to pull a lot of these reports, so my bet is that they don't even know how to pull these reports.
So maybe some training on how to pull reports. Okay.
Mm-hmm. How to pull them, and just what are they telling us?
Okay.
I think that might be really helpful.
right, we can do that. That's good. Anything else?
I guess I would really, really want to see the first and second vice district governors more involved too at this level, hearing what you're saying. I know they're hearing it other places too, but I feel like when when you're second vice and first vice, you don't even understand how fast it all happens. And so to really engage them as much as we can, as early as we can in every discussion that we're having,
Okay, I can tell you this, I will send out an email tomorrow to the first and the seconds for the monthly GAT call
I think
for
that would be
MD8,
really helpful.
and
Yeah,
we will invite them. Okay,
I think that would be super
make it done.
helpful.
Gotta go out. Gotta go out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anything
That's
else
my
we can do?
thoughts. No,
Okay.
that's what I got.
All right. Well, listen, if you think of anything, I'm just a phone call or an email away. And I sincerely mean that. When I tell you we're here to help you, we are here to help. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're not here to force you to do anything. There are some things that I'm going to hold people accountable for. That's just my nature. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we're providing and giving you every opportunity that we can to be successful. So don't hesitate to call on us. Don't hesitate to ask us, because that's what we're here for. Okay.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you tonight.
Nice talking to you too. And you have a great night. And we'll see you here next month for sure.
All
Okay.
right. Thank
Thank you
you.
now. You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.